Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Joel Heath, founder of a company called FluidStance. Thanks for joining us, Joel.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, a lot of us, especially during this pandemic, have been spending way too much time behind screens, behind a desk. A lot of us at home behind a desk, wondering how we're going to get back in shape a little bit. And you've got a device that can help. And I wanted to make some puns about surfing the web, but I'll let you tell us all about FluidStance.
Yeah, we're big believers in that movement is medicine and that the body wasn't meant to be in a sedentary state. So the more that we can keep moving in throughout the day, the better off we'll be across the board. So we had dedicated to trying to find a product that maintained the level of productivity that we all need, but enough movement to matter, meaning that you have an increase in 10% of your caloric burn, so that it's called non-exercise activity thrombosis. And one of the things that we've been trying to do is how we could create a product that allowed you to stay at your desk or other places you get stuck, but maintain keystroke productivity and things. So we targeted that greater than 10% caloric burn while having less than a 1% impact on your keystroke productivity.
Interesting. So describe your product for us.
It looks like a mini skateboard or a mini snowboard. It has a concave base that creates a little bit of instability underneath your feet. And, you know, as we all know, the little bit of instability is a good thing. So it keeps you on your toes, if you will. So those fine twitch muscles that are used to keep you upright have to maintain an active presence. And when we sit, things tend to go dormant. And when things go dormant, things tend to go stale. And so it keeps that level of activity throughout your body by just creating a little bit of instability underneath your feet. But it stops you at 16 degrees, which emulates where your heel strike is when you walk. The reasoning for that is that we didn't want to overtax your calf or Achilles by overstretching it like a typical balance board does. That creates a lot more dorsiflexion and plantar flexion.
And what benefits are there in comparison to simply standing up at your desk? Some people have invested in standing desks over the years.
Yeah, standing desks, are awesome. And I went from a very active, my first company was based in Vail, Colorado, and we were very active. And when I went into the corporate world, I realized how much of a sedentary lifestyle started to have a negative impact on my mojo. So I went to a standing desk, which I loved, but I feel like I just moved that pain point from my backside to then my knees and my feet. And anytime our body stays in one position too long, whether that's sitting, standing, it tends to start to create pain points. And the thing about movement is that it allows your body to take that stress out of the joints and into the muscles where you're designed to take prolonged stress.
So how did you go about designing and making this?
Oh, tinkering, I think, more than anything else. We did 27 different prototypes just in my garage. I always think of prototypes like babies. They come out and they're beautiful to you, but they're not very pretty to the rest of the world. So early prototypes didn't look all that great, but started to dial in the functionality of what we were trying to do and find that optimal level of movement, enough movement to matter, but not too much to distract. And that was the fine line. And then we worked with a doctor of physical therapy as well to test and make sure that we were hitting all those thresholds that we set out to do. And then ultimately, once we got something that was functional, we wanted to make it beautiful enough worthy of a New York high-rise. And so we worked with some great designers to put an iconic design to it so that it was something that you're proud to have in your office. It wasn't a piece of equipment that would have been in a gym or, just stuff to the corner. So we wanted to make sure that it was art as much as function.
And it's easy enough to take with you from office to home, or if you're making that commute these days.
You bet. And we're seeing more and more customers that had one at their office also have one at home. My kids use it for homeschool, which is They were at school before, but now they're working from home as well. It's been great for that. We actually have our kids eat on it. It allows them to get their wiggles out while they're eating. We've got younger kids. But we also have, talked to various different, a principal that uses it for discipline. He has, if two students are in a disagreement, they both have to get on our product and talk to one another. And when that body has a physical outlet, the mental capacity tends to grow, he thinks. And I think that's true for us when we work too. When you have the ability to subconsciously wiggle, you allow yourself the freedom to have some mental exploration that I don't think you normally do in a sedentary state.
What are some of the other benefits? You're burning a few more calories, you said, but beyond that, are there benefits when it comes to things like balance? You mentioned some of the mental stimulation as well.
Sure. Balance is a use it or lose it situation. And I think most of us think about balance related issues, as people age. And there's some scary stats out there over the age of once you hit your 60s and above, how a balance related fall will ultimately have significant consequences in hospitalization, which leads to pneumonia or things along those lines. But the reality is that we all start losing our balance in our 20s. And I don't think that's something that we all fully recognize. It may be just I am stuttering my step a little bit more. And it's because we're not out on playgrounds rolling and tumbling and really conditioning our balance system. And so by putting your body out of balance a little bit more, your body has to remember how to use that. So I think balance is one of those big ones that, because it's hard to quantify, we don't all think about it like we do our weight or our cardiovascular capabilities, et cetera. But I think balance is a really important thing, and our product helps along those things. And then, the one that is a little bit subjective, but I think is really important, is 83% of the people on our board report that they just feel happier. And I always say, if this was a pill, I'd be a billionaire by now, but I'm not. I do hard goods, so it's not as easy. But man, people are just happier on our product, and if you can work happier, that's worth a great amount of change. And it's one of the things I'm most proud of.
And another thing I guess you can be proud of is that the company gives back. Tell us about that.
You bet. We have dedicated 1% of the equity of our company to charity, 1% of the proceeds to the charity First Defense, which is the charity that's near and dear to my heart. It's an adventure experience for young adults with cancer. We also will plant well over 15,000 trees this year so that we're carbon neutral, and continue to support other charities in other ways. But we like to believe that we're trying to do something good. We know because we make things, we have an impact on the world. So we know we're far from perfect, but we're trying to do the best job we can and source our products as locally as possible. I would say 90+% of the product that we make originates close to our headquarters in Santa Barbara, California. And I always wanted to build a company where I could walk a factory line and read my kids a book at night. So we've tried to selfishly prioritize that product, but the best part is our product's mileage and getting to your door is a lot less than some of the products that we see out there that are coming from overseas. And don't get me wrong, we think overseas products are strong as well, and there's the right place for them. It's just we've tried to prioritize what we're doing and local sourcing and doing as much as we can to help the vendors in our area, as well as give products that are as earth friendly as possible to our customers and to our employees that work on them.
Tell us about the some of the different models that you have available, and there's a pretty wide price range too. I don't know if the performance is the same on all.
The functional ride is the same between all of our products, and it really comes down to material selection and really what you want to ride. Similar to a surfboard or skateboard or skis. Part of it is functional, but part of it is just how it looks, right? And so our entry-level product is made out of recycled plastic. We use post-industrial recycled plastic out of California, and it is a plastic version. But then our iconic product and our best-selling product is the Level, which is made out of military-grade aluminum, made out of Los Angeles area, and then final assembly is here in Santa Barbara, California. And that is a die-cast aluminum product with either a bamboo or a maple top. And then lastly, our original product, which are all hand sand cast, which is one is unique to itself, and it's actually cast through a green sand process, which is pretty unique, and it's just nice. We found that a lot of people like to have one of a kind type of offering, so that's our original, and that is obviously a little bit of higher price point since it takes so much more time.
Well, tell us about where pricing starts and where people can purchase.
Yeah, we're a direct-to-consumer brand, so we try to have that relationship directly with the consumer, and our entry-level price point is $189 for the recycled plastic product, and we go all the way up to $439 in the one-of-a-kind product, and there's quite a few variations in between. We also do sell on Amazon because we know there are some people that like to be Amazon specific, and we have our most economical offering there at $159, which is a recycled tire product with our recycled plastic story.
Very cool. And it seems to me that you make these so well that I don't know how you get repeat customers because the one you get is the one that's going to last a long time, it would seem.
That's for sure. That's definitely a flaw in the business plan that I didn't necessarily think, but I think it's the right thing to do. We always wanted to make these bomb-proof, and especially when it comes to the level and the original, which is that military-grade aluminum. I wanted to create something that was going to be something that you could pass down to your grandkids when they get their first jobs. So this thing is definitely bomb-proof, but we do have quite a few other products in the line. We have a new product that came out, which is a personal dry erase board, which sits in that void between the keyboard and your monitor, which helps us reduce the amount of Post-it notes that you're using. And then we also found that 1 out of 2 employees were dehydrated at work, even though we had access to clean drinking water. So we created a personal water tower that people can have a large volume of water that sits right on their desk, which works well for COVID too, because you don't have to go to the water cooler so much. You can kind of control your own water source. And so there's some other products that we're trying to make available to those customers that bought our levels early on and don't need us again.
Terrific. And that water device is called the Fill Up, is that right?
It is. It's called Fill Up. We did a crowdsourcing program about a year ago, and just on June 1st, we started shipping it to our customers as we fulfilled all of our backers' orders. So we're excited about that new product on the market, and it's one I'm especially excited about. I found that when water's at your fingertips, you tend to drink more, and when that cup is empty, we tend to stop drinking. It's one of those things you know it's good for you, but you just don't always think about it. So by putting so much water in front of you, I found that I've been able to increase my own personal hydration a great deal with Fill Up on my desk.
Terrific. For more information, folks can go to FluidStance.com, FluidStance.com. Congratulations on all the innovation. Joel Heath, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you very much. Honored to be on your show and honored to put products out in the world that people enjoy.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on C. Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love C. Crane.